Okay. Yes, that's right. Push the buttons. Okay. Okay. So I just want to start this way. You know, we talk always about the external body, but when we move the external body, we're shifting the inner body. And the center of you, you know, last class or maybe 2 classes ago, we were talking about the diaphragm. And if you take your fingers to the small of your waist, so just underneath the ribs, and I'm just sliding them around. So from the small of your waist, just to the bottom of the ribs. And this is where the diaphragm lives. So just kind of acquaint yourself with that for a moment. Okay, here it is in the soft part. And when we breathe in, diaphragm moves down, creates space. When we breathe out, it comes up. So good morning. So just this moving. And okay, so the diaphragm is here. Then we have the piriformis muscle, and that attaches on your sacrum, you know where that is. So small of your waist, find your sacrum, and it comes up and over the hip bones, and then it attaches to the inner thighs here. And the inside of the thigh bone is your lesser trochanter. You don't need to remember any anatomy at all because we all have it. So this psoas muscle comes over the hip bones and attaches here. And you know, this gets tight. The low back is tight. The piriformis is tight. The diaphragm is connected to that too. It affects breath. And then the other part I just want to, so from here, from where it attaches, and then we have this connection right to the inner arch of the foot. Okay, so if you just landmark that, oh yes, okay, inner, connected to the inner arch, connected to the inner knee, connected to the inner thigh bone, connected around to the sacrum, to your diaphragm, and of course, you know, everything else is affected by whatever's happening here. Okay, so the other thing I just want to say as we move into practice too is that most of us, you know, I see you guys when I say, oh, how are you feeling? And some of you are like, oh, my hip, low back, you know, could be a cause of this. And what generally happens, say like, you know, it's not 100%, so this might not be for you, but if you're right-handed, for example, and you feel a little bit more tightness on your right side, it just from pot habits and driving on the right side, that maybe this side gets a little shorter than the other side. And that might, for you, it might be the opposite, but one side is generally tighter than the other. And you can feel that when we did pigeon on our back the other day, and maybe you could feel that for yourself, one side tighter than the other. Okay, so this is going to be the focus of practice, is just to get into these places and see if we can create more space and more consciousness and just kind of wake things up, and even just notice for yourself, you know, what's happening in your own body. So that's my intention for practice, and we'll see how things progress here on your mat. Okay, bring your hands together. Take a nice big breath, grow nice and tall. And as you breathe out, close your eyes, drop your chin. Just feel the hands here. Start to soften into your seat, whatever that means. And there's also a lengthening. So with your eyes closed, just feeling this seat. Maybe there's a bit of movement as you inhale. There's a lengthening, and as you exhale, there's a softening. And let's just be with this simplicity of just sitting here and breathing and just feeling. And do one more full breath in and out, just like that. And then find your sit. So you feel an equal weight, even if it's just imagined, between the right side and the left side. Feel your head is equally balanced over the neck. And we'll open this practice and chant Om together 3 times. Let's begin with a nice big breath in. You'll release this breath completely, maybe through your mouth. And we'll inhale to begin. Oh. And bowing your chin, release your hands to your thighs, lift your chin and open your eyes. All right, guys. So we're going to start with a little foot massage. Sit however you like. Stretch your legs if you need to move around a little bit. I have my socks on. There's something very nice about massaging your foot with your socks on. You just get a little bit extra friction. You don't need to put them on. You can. But so we're just going to start. Just put one foot someplace where you can see it. If sitting like this doesn't work, sit like this, however you need to do it. And then with great consciousness, just start to massage the sole of your foot. Like all over, do the toes, the outer edge, just feel what it is and move your thumbs around like wherever it is. You might even give it some hits, some taps. So just take a moment, whatever you're doing. Good. Get the heel. Even spread the toes, wiggle them around a little bit. Okay, so then we're going to take our attention to that inner arch, right? Connected through the inner leg to the lesser trochanter bone there, and just start to massage right in the center of your arch. And just whatever it is, feel it. Your breath nice and relaxed. Good. And then we're going to twist the foot at the center. So just grab the top. I'm just going to lift my foot up. You don't have to do that. And just give it some twist, like you're moving your hands in opposite ways. You're twisting the center of your foot as best as you can. Thumbs can still be massaging a little bit. Good. Okay. And then we'll just put so this is my left foot. My left hand's going to come down. I'm just going to put the whole right hand on the sole of the foot. Just start to bring it into flexion and then point it a few times so that the hand might be doing it, but it's really the foot. Just move this foot in some way. Good. Okay. Now I'm just going to roll the ankle. So I'm going to bring it up like this and just take a little advantage of this shape and just roll that ankle around. It could be like this. It could be like this. Just change direction now. Let's wake that up. Good. Okay. And then just release. Step your feet out. If you don't have socks on, you might notice a change in color, but you could also just feel into sensation for a moment. And then we'll switch. So bring your other foot up and just start by just give it some love. The toes, the balls of the feet, your soft arch of the foot, the heel, the outer edge. I'm just naming parts. You massage anywhere here. Soften your jaw. No extra tension. Just, what's happening here? Good. And then find your way to the center of your foot, the center of your arch. And just feel in, wake it up in a very nice, loving way. Good. And then we'll give that foot a little twist. So just twisting as best as you can, whatever's happening, just waking up that center line. And what's interesting is as we massage the center line and we twist the foot, we think of the center of the foot, center of the belly, where your diaphragm lives, all connected. Good. And then from here, I'm just going to release my right hand, take the left hand, and just point and flex this foot a few times, imagining the hand's doing the work, but it's really the foot. Just watching. Good. Okay, then we're going to roll that ankle. So again, I'm just going to come back to here. Go wherever you need to go and just turn this foot a few times. Drop your jaw. Good. Okay. Nice. And then just stretch your legs out for a moment. Okay, we're going to stand just briefly, and you could keep your socks on if you like, or take them off. Just going to come to mountain pose. So just standing. Okay. All right. So as you're standing, feet are hip distance apart. They're pointing straight ahead. Your arms can drop by your side. And so this is what I want you to do here. Just feel that from the inner thighs, you can root down to the center of your foot. And as you push down this way, I always say lift your arches. This is the opposite. We're pushing down. And just feel what happens. Maybe you feel your chest lift a little bit. Okay, now I'm just going to lift the camera. Stay with that. Okay, so we're going to root down. Now feel like you can almost soften. So I'm just taking my hands to the sacrum, over the hips. Just soften. See if you can I just let this muscle soften? Keep that integrity of pressing from the inner legs down to the inner arches, and then can you just soften? And if that's not happening, or you're like, I don't even know what I'm doing, that's fine. You're just bringing awareness, attention to this connection. Okay, and then just let your arms rest just for a moment or two. Just be with this action of anchoring through the inner legs, softening. I'm going to say the outer hips, but it's the piriformis muscle, softening. And then see if you can tune into that diaphragm, just moving with the breath, just for a moment or two, and don't get too attached to any of this. Good. Okay, we're just going to lift the arms up as a way of just opening. And we do this often when we reach up through the arms, press down through the feet. So as you're here, your arms don't have to be super strengthening, your fingers can be relaxed. Anchor from the inner legs down through the inner arches, and bring it a little bit more into the heels. So you feel the heels you're almost pressing from the inner legs to the heels, let's say that. And then see, can you soften the piriformis muscle a little bit? From the sacrum to the outer hip, can you just soften? And then tune into the movement of the diaphragm. So you're just connecting these three places. This is inner work. Just waking yourself up. Good. Okay, one more breath. And then release your arms down by your sides. Let's just take one or two breaths here. Just bringing in this work, maybe even not as intense, like just feel the heels are weighted. I'm softening the outer hips as best as I can. You might even feel like, you're rolling more to the inner thighs. You might be feeling that. Okay. Good. And then from here, we're going to come down, and you just grab we're going to lie down. So you're going to take your bolster. The bolster is going to go pretty high up on your mat, maybe a third of the way. And then you might want to block for your head. Okay. I'll just hammer. Okay, guys. So sometimes we lie over this bolster and, we put it in different places. This time when you lie on it, it's like when we put the block underneath your shoulder blades. Hi, Pete. Your shoulder blades are going to go on the bolster. So it might feel like it's a little high. Okay. And then your legs, either bent, stretched out. If you want to take a Baddha, you just put your blankets, rolls underneath, whichever you feel. But we're just going to open the diaphragm. So the upper chest is on the bolster. So let's see, my bottom ribs are on the bolster, but feel like your chest is mostly supported. You could even come, it could even be up higher, like closer to the nape of your neck. So my whole neck is not on the bolster. The chest is there, your head is supported, and then do whatever you like with your legs. So you could go Baddha, legs stretched out, knees bent. And then the arms can maybe they're going to rest on the bolster. They'll come down by your sides or just wherever you feel good to put them. And once you're here, just close your eyes or rest your gaze. And we're using this shape to just feel the diaphragm moving just for a few moments. So we're just going to connect to that. And settling into your breath. So that everything from the bottom ribs to your hip bones is pretty much hanging or just settling off the bolster. Okay. Now you're going to take your hands, so let's say the thumb and the middle finger, And the thumb is just going to come to the sides of the body. So right thumb to right side, left thumb to left side. Find your bottom of your ribs, and then let that middle finger just kind of settle maybe at your hip bones or at the hip crease. Just so you can feel this movement of the diaphragm. So as you inhale, the diaphragm moves down, and as you exhale, just comes back up to its position. So just feeling as you breathe, this action that is happening, and you don't even ever need to think about it because it's going to happen regardless of whether you're conscious of it or not. So let's just take a few more breaths. And once you've connected to this, then you might want to take your arms over your head just as a way of opening the side ribs and the chest. But if that's not good for your shoulders, then you put your arms wherever they need to be or just keep them where they were. And feel this movement that just naturally happens. And we're just inviting things to open with these props we're using. And just feeling that for 1 or 2 moments. Good. Okay. I'm going to keep everything as it is, and I'm just going to stretch the legs long. Oh, I'm very close to the wall. I'm going to have to shuckle a little bit, but if that's not good to straighten your legs, you just keep them bent. Now I'm going to keep my arms over my head. That's an option that you don't have to do. Just find, so when we're on the bolster here, hopefully your whole back of your legs are on the floor if your legs are extended. And just create this as if you're standing on your feet. So your heels are on the floor, toes are pointing up. And we're just going to press from the inner legs all the way to the inner arches. And then once you have that integrity, feel like, can I soften that idea of the sacrum softening, the outer hip softening. Just play with that here, you're just lying there. Maybe as you inhale, you press from the inner legs to the inner arches. And as you exhale, you just feel the outer hips soften. Just imagine, even if you don't really feel this happening, just waking yourself up, just acknowledging these things that happen naturally without you even participating. Okay, and then let your legs drop. If you have your arms over your head, just bring them back down for a moment. Good. Okay. And then we'll bend the knees. Maybe you use your hands to lift your head and come up to sitting or roll to your side. Good. All right, sweet. Okay. Child's pose. And child's pose is not your happy place. You want to just go lie on your back and hug your knees in. That's fine too, you do that. Here we have the bolster, let's use it. And we'll just pull it in. You might even put something between your hips and your heels. Okay, now I'm gonna lengthen myself out. So I'll just walk the hands out. It's a bit of a cow pose happening here. I'm dropping through the belly. That's gonna lift the tailbone a little bit. And then lay yourself down. Okay, if you need to wrap your arms underneath, pull this bolster in. Maybe you can lie right down and turn your head to one side. Or if you need to prop up, make it a place where you can, feel what's happening in your body, but also to rest into it in some way. So I'm just showing here, if you're not comfortable going down, maybe you are going to stay on your elbows. What we want to have happen here is more of the hip bones towards the heels. So if you're somebody, when you come into child's pose, those hips are really lifting, just focus. Can I soften them down? Maybe yes, maybe no. It's all part of the process. So just melt yourself in. Okay. So we're using this pose. If you're on your back, it's going to be different, but you can still imagine. So I say we want the hip bones to come towards the heels. So feel here in this position, the diaphragm moving, tune into that, this moving down towards the hip bones, towards the sacrum. And then as you exhale, feel you can soften the outer hips a little more, sacrum a little more. So we're just taking the attention. As you inhale, the sacrum expands. And as you exhale, soften the outer hips a little bit more. Whatever you can invoke here. If you have your head turned to one side, just turn it to the opposite side now. And just really tune into this motion of your ocean. Okay, just settle in, a few more breaths. Just really feeling the movement of your breath, the movement of the sacrum, softening of your outer hips. Okay. All right, from here, friends, we're going to come to hands and knees. And we're going to move through cat-cow. So you can move your bolster out of the way, put some propping for your knees if you like. And I'm going to bring the blocks up to the front. So we have them. Yes, all the props. Move the dog out of the way. Okay, I'm going to slip my socks off here. Okay, so let's find your hands in your knees as best as you can. We'll tuck the toes under and it just opens the feet. And then just staying here for a moment, spread your fingers a little more. You might even turn your hands out a little bit. You know, I was talking about pressing into the heels, but here's the heels of your hands and you think about where the bones are. So if you turn them out a little bit, maybe you can anchor into that bone that lines from the pinky to the wrist, and then the bones of the base of the palm itself. Good. Okay, now keep the knees where they are. Don't really move the feet, but just, can I pull the toes a little closer to the knees? So it's like I'm lifting one foot up and just seeing, can I get a little bit more here? Okay, then once you're here with the toes tucked under, anchor your hands, push down into from the shoulders to the wrists. You're gonna feel the heart lift a little bit. Now I'm gonna push through the feet. I'm just pushing as if my feet wanna lift up, but I'm not gonna let them. So you're anchoring the hands. You might feel your thighs come in. You might feel the mid-belly lift. Now as you exhale, soften, release the belly, let your head lift. And then at the peak of this pose, push the hands down again. Now draw the belly in and let that lift you up into the cow pose. So as the belly comes in, you feel the tailbone drop, the head drop, push the hands down into the floor. And then exhale, maybe it's from the tailbone lift, maybe it's your shoulders. Notice which part of you moves first as you move into your cat. And then moving into your cow. And I'm doing that from the mid belly. Nice and slow, tucking the tail. Good. And just do maybe a few more, moving wherever you feel you need to initiate the movement. Just nice and slow. Good. One more. Just opening. Good. Okay, and then after you finish this one, so you come into your cat pose, then find your neutral. Good. Now with the toes tucked under still, I'm just going to shift the hips back towards the heels. So I'm not coming to sit. It's not quite child's pose. Some of you might walk your hands forward a little bit, get a little longer. And so we're just extending the torso. We're opening the feet. Breathe and feel your diaphragm moving here. Whatever you're feeling, if you need to be on your forearms because that's better for your back, do that. Good. One more full breath in. Breathe it out. And then bring yourself to your hands and your knees. Very slowly, consciously come back. Put the tops of the feet on the floor. You might even if you want to put the tops of the feet on your blanket, you might be happier. So just adjust. And then send the hips back one more time here. Find your place. If you need to be on your forearms, not quite down, that's fine. Again, I'm going to walk the hands forward. Keeping my head lifted. Feel into the breath. The expansiveness in the center of you, the soft waist. Just breathe here. And one more inhale. A full exhale. And then make your way back to your hands and your knees. Adjust if you walked forward, bring it back. Good. Okay, I'm going to bring the blocks in. Pull them in. Okay, I'm going to step the right foot. So I bring the knees right together. Right foot's coming between. If it doesn't quite get there, you just help it. And then once you're here, let's just open with a little bit of front to back flow. You can put your blocks on any height you like. Just moving. Yes, nothing, all that stuff. Just be here in this. You feel for yourself. We're just opening up. Good. Okay. We're going to lift ourselves up. So bring yourself forward into lunge, into the bent knee lunge. Keep the knee on the floor. If you need to walk the knee back or forward, you find it. Now, as if someone's pulling on your tailbone, take it back. Yes. Okay. Now look at your right foot. See if you can spread the toes a little bit. Look at your inner arch. Well, there it is. Okay. Now nice and strong. Bring your hands to your hips. Come on up. So we're upright. Okay, I'm going to pause here for a moment. Hands on your hips. Feel, is that right hip lifting? Can you drop it? Can you find some balance here? Just hug the legs towards each other. Press out into the feet. Now lift your arms up. Reach up, inhale. As you exhale, we start to bend into the knee a little bit more, and it becomes a little back bend. You're going to notice for yourself when you shove that hip forward. I'm really shoving my hip flexor forward here. I'm going to take it back. So here's forward, here's back, here's bending at the knee, not at the hip. Good. One more breath. Hold the right hip back. And then take your hands down. We're just going to lift both legs. So lift the back knee, straighten your legs. You want to walk your right foot out to the right more, the left foot out more. Okay. So blocks are here. They can go any height. Just going to lift that left heel and then put it back down a few times. Legs stay straight-ish. Whatever you need, do that a few times. Good. Okay. And then drop in, whatever that means here. Pull the right hip back. Squeeze the inner thighs towards each other. One more breath. Soften your sacrum area, low back. Okay, and then we're going to come back down. So I'll bend into the front knee, left knee to the floor, pull the right knee back. Now I'm going to sit on the feet. So I have my toes tucked under. You can keep your hands forward. You can come up if you like. If you want a little more, lift your arms. Take 2 breaths here, wherever you are. We're going to do the second side. Good. And then bring your hands back, come back, hands and knees. Knees come together, toes tucked under. And then the left foot's going to come forward, however it needs to do that. And then once you're here, you just be in your little flow, your own flow. Maybe the right knee walks back a little bit. Just feel. Just rock yourself front to back. It's really the hips that are initiating this movement. Just feel. Good. Okay, and then we'll take forward into the bent knee lunge. And as soon as I come here, I'm just going to pull the hips back and squeeze the thighs. Come up, put your hands on your hips. So you're in this upright. I call this sometimes proposal pose. And feel here your hips, your hands are there. Maybe the left hip's really lifting. You just look for, how do I bring this into balance? What do I need to do? I need to bring your left foot in a little bit. Squeeze the thighs a little more. Just feel. Maybe the left hip pulls back, a little wobbly. Okay, I'm going to lift the arms. And then you can stay here or you start to take it forward, but without sinking into the hips. This is me sinking, taking it back, pulling that right thigh back. So the action is really about just coming forward. Breathe, be, and release your hands. Lift your back knee up, straighten your legs. Okay, then adjust your posture, whatever you need to do. Okay, pull the left hip back, anchor into the inner foot a little bit. Good. Okay, now right heel. You inhale, just lift it up. And as you exhale, let it come down. Your knees are bent, it's okay. It's all okay. You're doing the work and you're here. You modify for your own safety and I was gonna say protection, but I feel it's more of self-care. And then let the heel come down and just be here for a moment. Feel, oh, is the left hip coming forward, right hip back? How can I balance my hips? Whatever's happening, I feel it. Push into the inner edges from the inseam of your leg to the inner arch. Good. And then release. Lower the knee. Send the knees together. Good. Okay. I'm going to move the blocks out of the way. So yogi's choice here, a downward facing dog or child's pose, whatever you feel you need, you honor that. That's the other thing. When you come to the mat, this is your time. Sometimes you just need to rest. Okay, so once you're here, you're gonna look at my feet. Maybe they'll go hip distance apart. And I'm just gonna find that press of the heel of the hands. Maybe turn your hands out a little bit. Spread your fingers, look at your feet. Some of you might be able to lift your toes and spread them. And then anchor from the inner legs all the way to the inner arches. So everything is engaged. I'm going to lift the bottom ribs up a little bit and then see, can I keep all of this and just soften the outer hips? Just put your mind there. Good. One more breath. And then lift your heels high, set your knees down. And then yogi's choice, if you want to sit for a moment, child's pose, whatever you need to do. I'm just going to take a moment. Just let everything be felt. Good. All right. Now it's going to be a lot of up and down. So now we're going to come onto your back. You're going to have your strap. And you can put this blanket we're using, if you want to lie it down under the torso, put one for your head. I'm going to say the head one is maybe important. So I'll put one for the head. Hi. Just thinking I'm going to lie down for Shavasana. I'm so excited. Okay, the blocks, I'll just move them maybe either side of you so you know where they are. You have your strap. Come and lie down. Good. Okay, let's just take a few moments as you come to lie down. Just receive gravity. Receive the floor. Good. Okay, and then we'll bend the knees, feet to the floor. Let's take a few windshield wipers just as release, and we're rolling the inner hips, outer hips in a little bit, moving the sacrum, everything here, opening your diaphragm, creating healthy movement of organs within, everything deeply connected. Come back onto your back. And let's keep the left foot bent, bring the right knee in, and just be here for a moment, just as you are with the left leg bent. I'm going to turn the left heel out just a little bit so I feel like I just pigeon-toed a little bit on the left side. Okay, now I'm going to flex the right foot. I'm going to push out through that inner arch, soften your jaw, and bring this right knee just a little bit over to the left. Feel yourself look for balance between the back of your right hip, back of the left hip, or two sides of your sacrum. Just look for some balance. So bringing this knee in across until you feel balance. Good. And then you can let your right foot rest for a moment. Might find the knee comes in a little bit more when you do that. Soften through the hip crease, anything you're feeling there. Good. Okay, now we're going to grab the strap. Oh no, wait for the strap. Cross this right ankle over the left knee. Let's do that first. Okay, and then with your arms out to the side, a little flexion into the right foot, a little anchoring through the left foot. As you inhale, bring the right knee in and across, so you keep the connection of ankle and knee. And as you exhale, just press the knee away. Just do this a few times, and I want you to just tune in to the movement of your hips. Maybe you feel the sacrum moving, sides of the waist, getting smaller, bigger. Just feel everything that happens here. Okay, and then bring that into its resting space here. We're going to go to thread the needle. And we'll bring the left thigh in. If you want to use your strap behind the left thigh, that's fine. Otherwise, right hand goes inside of the left thigh, left hand to the outside. Interlace your fingers. Notice if your chin is lifting, friends. And if that happens for you, put more support under your head. Okay, I'm going to flex the feet and just rock this package in and out. So you might feel your outer hips start to talk to you. Okay, you're moving in, you might not be a lot of movement for you. That's okay. You're just coaxing, inviting. Good. And then bring it back to whatever neutral is for a moment. Just be here in this holding. Pardon me. Soften through your outer hip. Just even imagining the right outer hip softening. And then we'll rock with the fingers interlaced, just rock side to side. And so as you walk to the right side, things feel better. And as you go to the left side, things start to tighten up a little bit. Just feel. Good. Okay. And then we're going to rest. And maybe you'll move your package, this whole leg package, a little bit more to the left. You might be able to hug the left thigh in a little bit more. So it's aiming more to the left shoulder, if that works for you. And then smile, soften your jaw. And soften into that outer hip as best as you can, wherever you're feeling that. Okay. Now I'm going to stay in this package. Nothing's changing. I'm just going to imagine I can push from the inner thigh to the inner arch. And as I do that, I feel more tension coming into the outer hip here, the outer right hip. I'm going to do my best to see if I can keep that integrity through the feet and soften through the hip. And now if you can add the motion of the diaphragm to all of that, you just get extra points. It's a lot. It's a lot. So be wherever you are. Good. Okay, and then we'll release the hands, set both feet on the floor, just rest, maybe basic resting position. Feet wide, pigeon toe your feet, knees together, just arms wherever, just feel what's changed. And hopefully the right side feels a little more relaxed than the left. Okay, we'll do all that on the second side. Separate your knees, heel toe your feet hip distance apart, and let's bring the left knee in, change the interlace or use your strap. Keep the right foot bent, but just turn the right heel out just a little bit. Doesn't need to be so much. Feel that you can still feel the inner line of your right foot, not necessarily the arch on the floor, but the inside or the big toe and the inner heel. Good. Okay. And if you want to rock your left knee in and out a few times or whatever you need to do. It's a nice, gentle massage maybe for some and maybe more intense for others. Okay. And then just drop in. I'm going to add that press into the right foot, flex the left foot. Be here, one more breath, just anchoring through your feet in some way. Feel the hip crease respond, and then let everything soften, but keep holding that left thigh or left shin. You might feel it coming a little closer to your chest as you soften. Okay, and then we'll cross this left ankle over the right knee, arms wherever you like. Just feel here, just be here for a moment. You might feel already, you know, the left hip is a little heavier than the right. Maybe you walk your right foot out a little bit. Okay, and then we'll start to just bring this left knee in as you inhale and open it out as you exhale. And just tuning in to how the whole body might be shifting, might be rocking through your hips a lot. Just notice, you know, the opening of the sideways, the closing. Notice if one shoulder is lighter than the other. Good. Okay, last one. And then just coming back to the neutral position, we're going to really press this ankle into the knee. The knee's almost going to push back. Start to add in the integrity of your feet, as if you can press from your inner thighs to the inner foot. Just feel that. And then as you exhale, soften that work and just feel what happens. Okay, now thread the needle. We bring the right thigh in, use your strap or your hands, change the interlace. And once you're here, just gently coaxing this pigeon on your back. So I'm just rocking this right thigh in and out. Feet are like not 100% flexed, not completely relaxed, just present. And just feel for yourself in your left outer hip. Any tightness you might feel in the sacrum. Relax your jaw. And then just come to whatever neutral is here. You've still got the thigh in. Soften through that outer hip. Just soften that piriformis muscle. And then we'll start to rock a little bit side to side. And just feeling as you rock more to the right, things get a little bit tighter. And as you rock to the left, maybe things feel a little bit more relaxed. Let's do this a few more times. Just really tuning in. Okay, and now I'm just going to rock it a little bit over to the right. Hug the thigh in a little bit more if that's there, without taking any extra tension in your shoulders or your jaw. Okay, again, I'm just letting the feet, they're working at maybe 30, 40%. I'm going to soften through that outer left hip as much as I can. And as you're doing all of that, if you can focus on the diaphragm moving, just feel this all connected. Gently letting go these places that just naturally get tight through our, habitual movements, our daily life, our postural habits. Good. Okay, and then we'll release, set both feet on the floor, come back to just your resting place. So if you want to stretch your legs or basic resting pose, just feel what has been released already. Good. Okay, now we're going to grab the strap. Separate your knees, heel toe the feet, and find, let's see, what do I want to find? Find that place where you feel equally weighted on both sides of the back hips or the sacrum. And we'll start with the right knee in. I'm going to place the strap over the center of the foot and extend the leg up. Left leg can stay bent or it can go straight, whatever feels good for you right here and now. And I'm just going to let this leg move in and out. So I'll hold on to the ends of the strap. This is just kind of fun. You let your arms move. Maybe they want to go over your head, or maybe they're going to go out to the side. Just let this leg move in and out in a way that feels good. My foot is kind of relaxed there. Just enjoying this ride. Just going to open. Okay. And then after you've done this a few times, now add a little bit of flexion into your right foot, just to bring some integrity into the leg. Still just rocking this leg forward and back. A little bit of integrity in the foot. Okay. Now we're going to settle with this leg up in the air. You might take your hands and reach up high on your strap. I'm still in the center of the arch. Okay, if you need to bend your knee or you need to put that leg down, you find your place. I'm going to pull down into the center arch and I'm going to push up into the strap from the inner thigh all the way through the inner knee. And look at your foot and notice if it's turning, the heel's turning in, toes out. That, you might need that. But if you can work at pressing the heel or turning the heel more to the right, okay, just be here. Let your jaw go. So you're finding this integrity of pulling the strap down and pushing into the strap in the center line of your arch. And then you can add in the softening of the outer hip. That's where the heel might want to turn in. So, it's work. Can I soften the outer hip without letting the heel turn in? My left leg is just relaxed there, guys. I'm really focusing on what's happening to the right. Okay, I'm going to add in the work of the diaphragm, but that might not happen for you because this is a lot. Let's be more with the press of the inner arch, pushing into the strap, softening of the outer hip. Okay, you can relax everything, keep the leg where it is, just release some of that effort. Put both ends of the strap into the left hand. Right thumb into your right hip crease. And we're just going to press this hip. My fingers are wrapped around the outer hip. I'm just going to push it to the wall. Find the integrity in the foot, in the strap. Now cross this right leg just a little bit over to the left. Not enough to lift your right hip. Let your jaw go. Okay, notice if the heel's turning in. Again, you might need that. Just focus on, can I turn the heel out? And soften. What can I let go of here? Okay, your leg might be shaking. That's kind of a normal, I say normal with air quotes, might not happen for everyone, but sometimes when we're waking stuff up and the muscles are coming back, they start to shake. One more breath. And then release that right hand out from the hip crease, change hands. Take the left arm out. I'm going to bend the left leg, put the left foot on the floor. Now, as you exhale and drop this right leg out to the right, let the left knee drop out to the left to counterbalance. And I'm not going to take that right leg all the way down. I'm going to go just to that place where, I feel equally weighted with the left knee dropping. Okay, now I'm holding both ends of the strap. The strap is still in the center of the foot. I'm pulling this foot. And at the same time, I'm pressing the foot out. Find that center line, inner thigh as best as you can. Press out through your inner thigh. Soften that outer hip, and that's where the heel might start to turn up a little bit. Just going to do your best. Keep the heel down. Soften through the shoulders, the jaw. You tune into the diaphragm. Moving. Don't worry about that too much. It's all happening. You don't even need to worry about it. It's going to happen. Good. Okay. Bring the leg up. Release the strap. Lower the leg down. Let's take a few moments to just be. So you could stretch your legs out if you like. You can keep them bent. Okay. Now here, wherever you are in your resting place, let the legs be relaxed. Let's tune into the diaphragm. Maybe we take the thumbs and find the bottom of the ribs. Take the fingers, find the hip bones in some way. And take a few breaths and just feel this, I want to say, gentle movement. We open this stuff up. Oh my goodness, my dog is tapping at the door so much. So we're going to go second side. I'm just going to let her out for a moment so you can just sit there and breathe. Okay. From here, we're going to bring the left leg in, put the strap over the center of the left foot. Right leg can be bent and go straight out, whatever you need. What do I need? I'm not going to take good care of myself here. And then once you're here, we're just going to start to wave this leg forward and back. And you can put the strap down, nice and long. You open, or You might even take the arms over your head if you like that. Just opening the back of your leg in a way that feels good. You're connecting to this movement, to your breath. Good. Okay, let's do one more like this. And then we're going to settle into Supta Padangustasana A. So the foot lifted. I'm going to take my hands up high on this strap. So the strap is at the arch of the foot. Okay. Then you're going to press the arch of the foot into the strap, gently pull it back. Open the back of your knee. You can add the press from the inner leg to the inner arch. Notice your heel if it's what it's doing. See, can you make this foot like you're standing on it? And then with that integrity, can I soften the outer hip? And here's where you soften the outer hip, your heel might turn in. So you might need to let that happen today. Let's just be with this idea. Pressing from the inner leg, to the inner arch. Softening the outer hip. Nice, easy breath. And then if you can feel the movement of your diaphragm here, wow. That's a lot of stuff. Okay, I'm going to take both ends of the strap into the right hand. Take the left thumb into your left hip crease, wrap the fingers around the outer hip. This is the part we're softening. You might even just take a moment and feel that soften. And then as you exhale, cross this left leg a little bit over to the right without rolling onto your side, without lifting that left hip. And this is work. Pressing through the inner arch, softening the outer hip as best as I can. Okay, if your heel's turning in, do your best. So I don't see any part of my heel here. And then soften the upper chest, the face, the jaw, whatever you can. Be with the breath, moving of your diaphragm. As you inhale, it moves down. And as you exhale, it comes up. It's creating some buoyancy for the insides of you. Okay, let the left hand come out from that. Bring the leg back, change hands. Take the right arm out to the side. And then bend your right leg, right foot to the floor. Pause here for a moment, just rebalance your back. Now as you exhale, left leg out to the left, right knee to the right, and just find this place where you're still balanced on your back, you're not over to one side, one hip's not lifting more than the other. You go nice and slow. Okay, so your leg might not go down as far as you like it to. Just be with the balance on your back. You can add integrity into both feet. The shoulders relaxed. Now really pressing from the inner leg, inner left leg, inner arch. And soften the outer hip. Notice if your heel turns up. That's okay if you need that. The work is to bring the heel back into alignment. One more breath. Good. And then bring everything back up. Release the strap. And come back to just rest for a moment. Okay, I'm going to take the arms over the head just to open. Create a little bit more space for the diaphragm. So I'm not working the arms, they're just hanging out there. One more breath. Good, okay. And bend your knees. All right, guys, I'm going to come back up. Just, oh my gosh, look at the time. We have 5 minutes left. It's crazy how fast this goes. Wow. Okay, I'm going to just throw this in really, really quick because this is where we're going. So just one last one. You're going to feel so good. It's going to be worth it. So come up. If you need a moment, you feel dizzy, take your moment. I'm going to leave these props here because we're going to come to Shavasana before we know it. Okay, I'm going to come up to standing. Here's where you might use your chair or your wall. And we're just going to take that same pose, standing. So the chair is, if you know, you put the chair, you set it up by the wall, your foot will go on the chair. If you're using the wall, you're just gonna put your right foot at the wall, and it might go low. If it's too high, you know, that's where the chair can be helpful sometimes. Okay, let your left foot needs to turn out a little bit, let that happen. Just gonna put the right foot at the wall. Once you're here, you know, I have my foot as high, I can feel that this little tail is gonna tuck under. So I'm gonna lower the leg, find your place, put your right thumb in your hip crease and just wrap it down, and then press from your inner legs, both legs. I'm pushing from the inner legs to the inner arches. Drop this outer hip. Okay, maybe the arms lift, and you're pushing into your feet, you're reaching up and you're dropping that outer right hip. As you drop the right outer hip, you might feel the left hip roll forward a little bit. One more breath. I'm just doing this super quick. This is a really good release. Release your arms, step down, pause for a moment, feel, and then we'll do the second side. Okay, take your left foot up. Take your time to find, so you're not tucking forward. This is me tucking forward. This is me taking it back. Okay, so find your place, then root into your feet. If your knee is bent, it's okay. Root into the inner edges of your feet. Take your hands to your hips and just feel. You know, I think we have the thumb in the hip crease. You could draw that down. Just be in the press and then reach your arms up. And you're just pushing from the inner arches, inner feet, softening the outer hips. One more breath. Okay, and then release. Oof, so quick. All right, pause for a moment, feel, and then, okay, guys. So we're gonna come down, lie down in Shavasana. I know already we're gonna go 5 minutes over. If you need to go, then thank you for being here. Take Shavasana later. Otherwise, if you wanna sit for your Shavasana today, take a little seated meditation. If you wanna do that, that's fine. So either one. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes though. So whatever you choose to do, I'll lie down for a few. Let's just move into your stillness and your breath. Just feel all of that deep inner work, deep inner work. And that this is, you know, just lifting, creating a deeper consciousness within. So however you've chosen to rest, if you're lying down, just release all of that. And then seated, just tuning into the even weight of your body. You could do that lying down too. The even, the uneven, just welcoming it, receiving it, acknowledging this information. Resting in your stillness, your breath. Soften into your third eye, the muscles of your face. Maybe tuning into the gentle movement, the diaphragm within, separating the upper half of the lower half of the body, and irrigating all of it. This movement of your breath. Softening your eyes, your eye sockets, your temple space. And softening your outer hips. Letting your low back, your sacrum area be spacious. Inner legs, inner knees, inner arches. Softening. And staying as you are, deeply resting for the next few breaths. Staying in your rest for as long as you like, even past closing this class, you have time and space. Always gently beginning your awakening, you're moving. You might even, if you're lying down, turn your toes in and out a few times just to wrap that hip crease around and work into that piriformis muscle a little bit, the attachment at the low back and the inner thighs. And just continuing on in a way that feels nourishing and loving. Eventually you'll come to rest on your side for a few moments. And if you're coming up to seated, just making your way nice and slow. Okay, once you come up, if you're coming to seated, you're already there. Maybe you change the cross of your legs. And we'll just pause in our stillness, our reverence, our honoring of this, great gift of embodiment. Just all these connections and that we just attune to in a way of assisting ourselves to flow in a very healthy, nourishing, healing way. We offer ourselves wellness here on our mat. And soften your third eye space, friends. And as you inhale, anchor your sit bones. Feel this lengthening, lifting your chest. And as you exhale, let that breath just soften through the back body as if your sacrum could just drop. Outer hips can relax a little bit. And then inhale to grow nice and tall. Exhale this breath. We'll seal this practice with our May We Be Blessed mantra and one inhale. May we be blessed with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be healthy and may we be happy. Let's seal that prayer with an Om. Inhale. Release your exhale breath into your hands. Bow your chin. Om Shanti. Om Peace. Om Namaste. Lift your chin. Open your eyes and offer this healing to yourself. And offer it out. So much love. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for practicing. So much love, guys. Have a beautiful rest of this very wonderful, truly great, great, great day. And we'll see you guys soon. Thank you, everybody. Ciao, friends. Have a good day. Love you.